Hello, hockey fans. The Minnesota Hockey Connection is on the air. We're on the air for the next half hour. I'm Kenny Gallagher along with Jerry Burrow. And today, Jerry, we have a special guest, head hockey coach from Duluth Marshall, Bill Owens. Bill, welcome to the set.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Good
So
to see you,
Duluth
Bill.
Marshall off to a 2-2 start after, you opened up the season at Mounds View, 6-4 loss, but a nice win at Rochester Century, 7-3.
You know, it was a nice win for our kids. We really had, saw some nice progress from our first game to our second game against Rochester Century down there, and it was a nice, hard-fought victory for us.
And unfortunately, you had a postponement with Rochester Mayo. A little snow got in the way of that, a little snowstorm. But my goodness, the Thursday of last week at Cambridge Isani, 14-0. I don't know, sometimes it's good to have a game like that maybe.
Well, it was one of those games where everything was kind of going right for you, and we did a nice job in terms of moving the puck and really, some kids found the back of the net, so that was really exciting for them.
And then at Minnetonka, heart-wrenching 2-1 loss. But Jerry, anytime you can stay with Minnetonka on the road and be close, that's kind of a victory, Coach.
It's the number one team in the state in AA. They won the state tournament last year. They got most of their players back. Plus, they picked up the three good forwards during the off season.
Mm-hmm.
Their goalie's back. And another thing is they only had 38 shots. And usually they get that against good teams. Real good teams, ranked teams.
Right. Well, I really liked how we competed against Minnetonka. And we kind of limited them in terms of their second chance opportunities. We did a really nice job in our defensive zone, picking up some sticks and stuff. And really, it was a huge confidence builder for our kids to see that they're able to compete with some of the better teams in the state.
Right. I want to go back to that. Is it the first game you had Rochester Century?
First game, second game.
But there's a team that a lot of people down in the Twin Cities thought they're going to be one of the better teams in the state by the end of the year. Mm-hmm. They only lost 3 or 4 games the year before, and they got everyone back.
Exactly.
So what you did down there at their rink, that's amazing. Especially you lost your best 2D on your team this year. And it wasn't looking good starting the season, really.
Well, we did have some holes to fill. And I really give a lot of credit to our defensive coach, Steve Patosha, in how he's able to bring these younger defensemen along at such a quick pace. Going back to that Century game, one of the things that really was a huge factor in the game for us were we scored 4 shorthanded goals.
Wow.
And that was the difference maker right there.
You scored in that game?
In that game, we had 4 shorthanded goals.
You don't get 4 all year usually.
Exactly.
That's unheard of.
Exactly.
Huh.
So it was nice. We've been preaching to the kids all year that, once we get control of that puck, let's look for that open guy. And we've done a nice job of staying aggressive on the penalty kill, and that was, in my opinion, one of the big difference makers in that game.
How long have you been with Marshall now?
This will be my 4th year.
Okay, and you said Steve Patosha, who was the Bantam AA for Duluth East coach for many years.
Yep.
Who are the other coaches up there?
We have Jordan Shockley and Mike
Okay.
Swanson. They're both coaching our JV and then also helping with the varsity as well.
Yeah, Shockley was a very good player a few years back.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Yeah. And give us a little update of your career in hockey and your playing days and your coaching days, because you're not from here.
No, I'm from St. Paul and been up here, like I said, for about 4 years now. This will be my 19th year coaching high school hockey, split between St. Thomas Academy, St. Paul Academy, and Duluth Marshall. Obviously, over the course of my time, I've been very fortunate to coach with some very good coaches and to have some great players as well.
Obviously, Coach Brendan Flaherty was stricken with cancer and was forced to forego this season, if you will. Bill, you're the head coach this year. What's the future for you and Duluth Marshall, you think?
Well, obviously, we're hoping and praying every day that Coach Flaherty can make enough progress to be able to come back and join the team. Monday night he was at practice and actually came down to the locker room to talk to the kids and the other coaches, and it was fun to spend time with him again like that in that setting. And yeah, it's been great. He's at the vast majority of our practices, watching from the stands, and does give me some feedback from time to time, which is always nice. So that's our hope and goal, is that Coach Flaherty can be back with us at some point.
Well, in the meantime, you've got a group of boys here that you're going to try to get to state. That's the goal here. You want to get down to St. Paul this coming spring.
Right, that's everybody's goal. We do, in my opinion, play in the toughest section. We've got Duluth East, Andover, Cloquet, among others, that we're going to have to get through. And one of the things that we preach with our kids is that we want to be playing our best hockey, come late January and February, to put us in a position to be successful. And games like Minnetonka or Hermantown or Benilde St. Margaret's or Holy Angels, these are top caliber opponents that hopefully will get us to where we need to get to at the end of the year.
Yeah. I don't know if it's springtime yet when state high school hockey tournament rolls around. It's still late winter, but nonetheless, if you've just joined us, Duluth Marshall head coach Bill Owens is with us. And are you surprised at 2-2 so far? Now you got a game tonight with Hermantown, but and we're taping this on Tuesday, December 10th. But you look at some of these wins, like Jerry pointed out, a win at Rochester Century, a close game at Minnetonka, 2-1. And, there's some hockey left to play here. And looking at your schedule, you've got Holy Angels. You're going to have Duluth East on the 20th of this month. Mm-hmm. At Benilde, of course, the Hilltopper Holiday Classic. But are you satisfied at 2-2 so far?
Well, I guess a couple different perspectives. I'm satisfied with where we are in terms of our progression. We're working hard. We're getting better every day. We're learning from the video. We're getting stronger in the weight room. So there's a lot of things that I see some progress moving forward. It'd be nice to be 4-0 right now. I mean, obviously we would love that, but I like the progression that the kids are making game to game.
Well, that's positive. And again, looking at this schedule, my goodness, Hermantown, Holy Angels, East, Benilde, that's going to say a lot about this team after those games, Jer.
Well, they got 3 teams right in the top 5 in AA. Duluth East, Andover, which just beat Duluth East, and St. Thomas, they're in the top 5. And you used to coach them.
I did. So that'll be a fun game when we get to go down there and see Tom and Greg Vanelli and some of the kids a long time ago that we used to coach as young kids. So it'll be fun. We want to play the best teams.
Right.
That's the objective. We want to be able to have a measuring stick to get us where we need to, be at the end of the year. And that's one thing Brendan always said, was we want to play the best teams every year.
Yeah, I always believe in that. The teams that, especially the ones that have good coaching, the kids develop more by playing better teams, and by the end of the year, they're going to be a lot better. If you play like you just beat Cambridge 13-14-0, if you play a team like that all year, your kids aren't going to grow.
Right.
And so this is a really good schedule you have now, and hey, it's going to be a tough year, I think.
Well, but it's all about keeping the kids focused on the process and what's the goal that we want at the end of the season. And so if you can keep them focused on that, and again, keeping them competing at the highest level possible, every day in practice, it'll translate into hopefully, some good success in the games.
Yeah. Going back to your St. Paul coaching days, so St. Thomas was one of the best single A teams for a long time period there and then they had I think they were more or less forced up, but pressured, but who
yes,
knows?
to some extent, yes.
But then you were over in St. Paul Academy that really, their name wasn't on the hockey board that much. Mm-hmm. And you built a really nice program in 3-4 years that you were there. And they got to state, and
Yep.
they were a good team. And now they're back to where, it must be tough, these private schools to...
It is. It's hard because, to build and sustain a program. Obviously, Tom and Greg Vanelli and St. Thomas Academy has been very successful in what they've done over the course of many years at at St. Thomas Academy. And then obviously a credit to Brendan Flaherty, what he has done at Marshall to be able to, sustain a very successful program.
So what is the main thing for private schools? Since they don't have feeder program, do you have to sell these younger kids on the education and what a class school this is? And how do you get these kids hockey players to come to these schools?
Well, that's like in anything, in terms of sales, you want to make sure that you're reaching out and selling everything that you can about the school. Duluth Marshall has so many great things to offer students. Last night, for example, was the holiday concert at Marshall, and we've got 6 kids that were performing in either band and choir.
Wow.
and so it's fun because the kids, we're not just hockey players. We want to develop the complete person. And not saying that they're not doing that at other schools, but because we're so small, all these kids have to participate in different things, whether it's other sports or other activities at the school.
Okay. Well, Jerry, you're an alum, and there's quite a history, quite a storied history of Duluth Marshall going back to Duluth Cathedral when it comes to hockey.
Right, back in the late 60s, there wasn't a better team in Minnesota probably for about 4 or 5 years overall. I mean, it was a great program, and I miss those days.
Yeah, Duluth East head hockey coach Mike Randolph, he's an alum.
Right.
You had the great Pokey Traxel and the others, and just
Dave Hughes.
Yep.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. There you go. You're naming the best.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, okay, let's go back to the foundation your team this year. I think it's your goalie, Alex Busick.
Yep.
And, I mean, he...
All 6'6" of them.
Yep.
Really?
He's a big boy.
Oh, yes. Yep.
And, I mean, without
What grade
him,
is he in?
He's a senior.
He's
Okay.
a senior
6'6"
finally. But he's been
senior.
playing for
Nice.
3 years now.
Okay.
This is the 3rd year. But tell us a little more about starting with him, but who's your captains, leaders on this team?
Well, our captains this year are Cole Mackow, Aiden Bashan, Carter Sullivan, and Keelan Golet. All players that have played in the program for 4 years and obviously, as you guys know, made contributions to us in the past.
Right.
Alex, just kind of specifically talking about Alex, obviously over the course of the past couple of years, he's had to kind of split time with our other goaltenders. Cam Brandt, who was our goaltender last year, I think had a great year for us. And Alex going into the season, he wanted the job. He said, I'm going to do whatever it takes to win this job. And I believe that, seniors who have paid their dues deserve that right to win that position. And he's won it, and he's been great for us so far.
Well, I got to tell you, Jer, high school hockey in Duluth is healthy. Duluth Denfeld is off to a 4-0 start.
Right.
Duluth East, they're always a top caliber team. And Duluth Marshall at 2-2, but playing very well, and a very good situation right now for Duluth hockey.
Right, and the Duluth area, even like Hermantown, they're going to be there at the end of the year and just go over the border. And Superior, I mean, they're a very good team, really.
Yeah.
I saw them a couple of times, and they're not a bad team. And when they play this caliber of hockey, all the teams over here, they're just going to get better too. So and the range, they picked up a little bit there too.
Sure.
I mean,
I was impressed with the new arena at Proctor. I was actually watching the game against Superior, and Proctor had kind of took it there. But, Proctor's rebuilding. They're trying to, retain their kids. And Dan Stauber's got his hands full up there, but they're moving in the right direction. If you just joined us, Duluth Marshall head hockey coach Bill Owens. It's nice that you were able to get down here and spend some time with us.
Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
hey, going back to Brendan Flaherty, thank God he's cancer-free at this point, and hopefully he gets better and better, or gets more energy in that. Mm-hmm. But there's been a lot of rumors at Marshall lately that I hear.
Now, are you spreading rumors?
No, I'm not spreading it. I'm hearing, you know me, I'm always at the rink.
Yes, you are.
That he is.
And only 1 out of 100 are true.
Oh, yes. Okay.
But is the school talking at all going back down to Class A, or there's no talk yet?
I have not heard any talk
Okay.
about moving down to Class A.
Okay. Because there's been talk like Hermantown going up. That's been every year though. No.
Well, what's the criteria? I mean, there has to be some criteria, some parameters to be in A or Class AA, or aren't there?
Well, if your school has the population, you can't go down. But if your school doesn't have the population, you can ask to go up every 3 years, I guess it is. So then the State High School League usually agrees.
So a
that
team
you're
like
going.
Eden Prairie and those large metro
They can't
schools,
go down there.
they're forced into Class
Right.
AA.
Right.
And those teams like Roseau and even Marshall that choose to opt up to
Right.
Class AA
Right.
have that option. Okay.
And that was one of them. I mean, when they first started doing this a lot, Roseau couldn't beat Warroad in Class A. They move up and they win the state tournament.
Right.
That's funny.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
And these are little towns, you know, but they're hockey towns.
Exactly.
Every kid skates before they walk.
Well, I'm kind of curious, Bill. What drew you to Marshall? How did that relationship develop at Duluth Marshall?
Well, I've known Coach Flaherty for many years, just coaching against him, whether I was at St. Thomas Academy or St. Paul Academy. Gosh, we used to have just some battles, St. Thomas against Marshall.
Right.
Not only regular season, but in the state tournament as well. So we got to know each other, and then after I moved up here, I bumped into him, and one thing led to another. It turned out Jason Watt took a position with Daha, and he had a spot open on his staff. So I jumped at the opportunity, and it's been great for me to be able to work and learn from Coach Flaherty, and it's just been a great blessing for me.
What do you do for a living up here?
I work in sales.
Okay.
So you came up here on an unrelated hockey move,
Yeah. Yep.
and
And it just kind of turned out. So such is fate, right?
Okay.
But hockey's in your blood because you've been, like you say, you've been coaching, 18, 19 years?
Yep.
now? Wow,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it's great. Each year is it's a new challenge every year, and it's just fun to be able to work with the kids and try to help them achieve some of their goals.
Now, where did you play hockey?
I played at St. Thomas
Oh, you
Academy.
did. You did. Okay.
I actually played football in college.
Really?
At the University of St. Thomas.
Really?
Yep. Yeah.
You're learning a lot of new stuff here tonight.
5'9", 160-pound running back in the MIAC.
Wow. Still got some bruises?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Any trophies?
Oh yeah. No trophies.
Oh, darn.
No trophies. No trophies.
Well,
great.
what is it about Duluth hockey? You being somebody that's come to Duluth recently, what is it about Duluth hockey that's attractive to you, and maybe some things that you didn't really know that you found out after you got here?
Well, I think that first of all, how these kids are developing from an early age is great. How Daha has their youth program set up, whether it's the outdoor rinks or just the development of the kids is just outstanding up here, and I think it's a model that other associations should definitely take a look at.
Well, it's funny you say that because I grew up, I didn't play varsity hockey. I played hockey at Lower Chester, but, you hear this term shinny hockey. And I'm not really sure what shinny hockey is. I think it's playing on the street. We never had that problem because we were surrounded by hockey rinks. We had Lower Chester, Jefferson had a rink, Grant had a rink,
We had
Observation had a rink. Park
37
Point, there was
rinks
yeah.
with programs. I mean.
Yeah, so we always had a rink we could go to and play hockey, or at least skate, or maybe set up some snow chunks and play boot hockey. But
Exactly.
And some of the rinks in Duluth are gone, not there, but the tradition continues. And we hosted Hockey Day Minnesota here a couple of years ago, and that was big for the city. Hopefully it returns. But Duluth hockey, in your opinion, is strong, is flourishing?
Well, it is, and obviously everything is. You have to have good numbers coming up, and I think what Daha does to make hockey attractive for a number of different families is something that's very important. It is an expensive sport. You take a look at ice time and how many indoor rinks we have. That's why I think it's so valuable with all these outdoor rinks, and to say nothing of the fact that there's so much community support in terms of flooding, getting the rinks ready, maintaining them, and things like that. I think is important. But it all comes down to the number of kids that are coming up each year to make our programs, whether it's Denfeld, East, Marshall, to make them as successful as they can be.
Geez, and I think, Jared, at the time there was Morgan Park and Duluth Central.
Right.
And
Woodland, Piedmont,
Yeah.
Duluth Heights.
Yeah.
I mean, you name it. You can go on and on. Merritt.
Exactly.
I got a couple questions. Okay, you played hockey 20 years ago.
Yes.
What do you think has changed the most in hockey from that day back then to now? And the second question is, let's come two more questions. What do you like about the game today, and what you don't like about the game today?
Well, those are all very good questions. Honestly, the speed of the game has increased tremendously from obviously when I played, and not playing at the highest level possible. But that has been the one thing that I see. And then obviously in today's day and age, kids are getting pushed to be single sport athletes.
Yeah.
And back when I was their age, I was playing 3 sports, and we'd play a little bit in the summer here and there, but these kids are, some of them are getting to focus year round now, and not necessarily outwardly getting pushed to focus on one sport, but they're getting that thought that, okay, well, I see this guy, he's not playing baseball or soccer anymore. Now I just have to focus on hockey, which is too bad, because we love to see kids develop their athleticism, whether it's playing soccer, playing football, playing baseball, golf, tennis. I mean, I want our kids to participate in a lot of other sports. I think it's important for their development.
And I think Duluth Marshall, a small school, is a good school to go to if you want to play different sports, because they don't have the numbers, so they're almost begging every kid to play this sport.
Oh yeah. Well, and you take a look at how successful the Marshall baseball team has been over the last couple of years. We have many baseball players on our hockey team, and I think we can pull from the success that they've had in other sports. The soccer team had a nice season. We have a lot of soccer players on our on our team. So I like those kids to experience success in different areas, because that's going to help make us better as a team.
That's great.
head hockey coach, Duluth Marshall, Bill Owens. Again, the Duluth Marshall boys are off to a 2-2 start. Big game tonight. We're taping December 10th. You'll be at Hermantown. They're beatable.
Hermantown is a great team. Obviously, they've got a number of great players. Pat Andrews and his coaching staff do a great job over there. If we just want to play our game, we want to compete, we want to battle, we want to try to get as many pucks to the net as possible, and see what happens from there.
A great opportunity to see Duluth Marshall this Saturday, the 15th. Holy Angels comes to Mars Arena, 3 p.m. The Hilltoppers and the Holy Angels, Saturday the 15th, 3 o'clock.
Yes, we're excited for that game. One of my very good friends, Pat Griswold, is the coach at Holy Angels, so it's going to be exciting to see him again. And it's also Fill the Rink Day at Mars Lakeview Arena. So there'll be some different festivities going on and different activities and things like that on Saturday at Mars.
You're going back to Holy Angels. One of my favorite coaches back in the early 2000s was Greg Treble. And I know he had got cancer, throat cancer, and then I think he had a little dementia. Mm-hmm. Do you know how he's doing? Is he in a home, or do you know anything?
I do not. Okay. I don't know what his status is, but obviously great man, great coach, and did a great job with that program.
Right. Okay, I got a good thing. You guys got the Hilltopper Classic again. Is that called the Hilltopper Classic?
The Hilltopper Holiday Classic,
okay,
yes.
All right.
Yes.
And what are the dates?
The dates are the 27th of December, 28th, and 29th.
Okay, I saw something. I don't know where I saw it, but you got Hermantown back. You lost Cloquet, but you got Brainerd and Bemidji still. Mm-hmm. I know you got two teams that are up and coming. Rosemont is a very good team. I just put them up in the top 10. I don't know if they'll stay there, and Blake is a young team, but they're an up and coming. They're giving everyone a little problems. You know?
Exactly,
So you got some
exactly.
really good teams up here.
Yes, and then included into that mix, you've got Chanhassen and Buffalo as well.
Right.
To kind of round out the field. But, and that was, again, Brendan wanted to try to get the best teams into the tournament. And obviously, we'd love to have Cloquet back at some point. But being able to have a school like Blake, another smaller private school that's chose to play up at the AA level.
Right.
We've played them during the regular season a couple times. It didn't work out with our schedule, so to get them up here in the tournament, I think is going to be very, very fun for everybody.
So the 27th, 28th, and 29th, 3 days, 4 games every day. Does the JV have a tournament?
JV has a tournament as well. Same teams are in the JV tournament. The JV portion of the tournament will be played at Hermantown.
Okay.
Which that's nice of them to help us out with that. And then all the varsity games will be played at Mars Lake, the arena.
Great, because I've been there a few years. That's a good tournament.
Yeah, they've been doing this now for a few years. And,
Right.
Do you get called, or are teams looking to get into this tournament?
They are. It's been at least as long as I've been up here, it's been a very popular tournament for an out-of-town destination. Obviously, down in the cities, the Schwann Cup has been kind of the premier tournament for many years. And teams looking to get out of town for a weekend. We had Wayzata last year, which that was a great draw for us.
That's right.
Brendan has been able to really attract some of the higher end class AA teams.
I remember when it first started, he used to get 4 Wisconsin teams and 4 Minnesota teams, and it was like a border battle.
Oh, I bet.
Neat.
Yep.
He got some good Wisconsin teams come in.
Final moments. We want to thank head hockey coach at Duluth Marshall, Bill Owens. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for
And
having me.
good luck this season.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also, we want to thank the staff at PACT-TV, where this program is produced, in City Hall in downtown Duluth. And check out our websites. We've got a YouTube channel you can check out. We've got our Facebook page. Find us on Facebook and like us there. And then Jerry has the Minnesota Hockey Connection page that he pretty much handles with all his rankings and other stories and topics on there as well. And again, Bill Owens, thank you.
Hey, thank you guys.
Yeah,
thank
good
you
luck.
for
Thank you,
having me.
Coach.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
And Jerry will be back here next week to drop the puck. We'll see you then.